What's up guys, and welcome back to another episode of Career Mode. This is episode number 46, and we start today's episode off with some player training, as I'm still waiting for Ward and Brennan to hit 60 overall before I take their drills out and give them to someone else. And also a Youth Academy update as well. Now we've entered December, the final month of fixtures for the calendar year, and you can see how our youth players are currently looking. There are just so many amazing players in here. Pierre Rocher, Tyler Allen, Brandon Lewis, Elliot Harris, the young striker, Sam Hill, the goalkeeper, and of course the standout Serge Koulibaly. Can't wait to promote those players. And also look at the league table as we enter December as well, where as you can see we're in 5th place right now, 8 wins in 14 games, 27 points on the board. So despite 2 defeats in our last 3 games, still clinging on to a European place, but it's so tight right now in the race for European football. We're only 3 points clear of Everton, who of course beat us in the last game at Goodison by 3 points. So that separates 3 points separating 5th to 8th. Very tight right now as we close out the first half of the season. And look at the fixtures for December as well. We've got Leicester City at home, Liverpool away, Stoke at home 2 days after that game at Anfield, then Brighton away, Cardiff at home, Arsenal away is the Boxing Day fixture. What a clash that's going to be right now, with both teams battling for a European place. And we wrap up the month and the calendar year at home to Manchester City, who of course, as you would have seen by the table, 14 wins in 14 games. They put 5 passes at the Etihad Stadium as well. I'm not looking forward to their visit in the final game of the calendar year. Anyway, first game of today's episode, you saw Nord is coming back from his injury that he suffered on international duty, but not ready to play just yet, would be against Leicester City, as Brendan Rodgers' side would come and take us on here at Bramall Lane on the back of our heartbreaking last minute 3-2 defeat away at Goodison Park against Everton in the last game in the last episode. Leicester City, of course, as we know in real life, having an absolutely fantastic season and have a golden chance to qualify for the Champions League next year and finish in the top 4. I'd absolutely love to see that. I think that would be fantastic if they could pull that off. But in the game, not a great season by their high standards. 13th place in the table right now and just 4 wins in their first 14 games. If they're going to be European contenders this season, they have to kickstart their season and get into form to close out the calendar year. And taking them on here at Bramall Lane, of course, still without a home defeat all season long. Taking them on back at home, I was expecting us to get back to winning ways here after 2 defeats in our last 3 games. And in the first half, the problem we had is that we couldn't get the ball off Leicester. Our only chance fell towards the end of the half coming on the counter-attack, because in the first half, it was just Leicester City passing the ball around and we were chasing shadows. And that trend continued in the second half as well. They had such a high possession and pass accuracy stat at half-time, and in the second half, the same thing was occurring. We would just play, it's like piggy in the middle, basically, you know, but just 11 versus 11. They just kept passing the ball around and we could never get the ball off them. The only time we would win possession back is when the ball went out for a dead ball situation, or they had a shot on goal which Henderson managed to hold on to. It was still goalless, and 12 minutes after the restart, they would manage to get themselves in front and make their possession count. Sergio Canales rolling it through, and the Spaniards link up as Munir would slide in at the near post and beat Henderson to make it 1-0. So Leicester's number 9 gives them the lead 12 minutes after the restart. And again, for the entire game, for the entire 90 minutes, I just could not get the ball off them. It's got to be one of the most frustrating games of career mode I've played this year. It was just so bloody annoying. It really was like a training exercise. Full-time stats, check this out here. 15 shots, 9 on target by Leicester, and 69% possession with 93% pass accuracy. They absolutely dominated from first whistle to last in that regard, and they thoroughly deserved the 3 points and became the first team to beat us at Bramall Lane this season. So first home defeat of the season, second time this season we've failed to score in a game, and also our 3rd defeat in 4 games in the Premier League as well. And this was inevitable. At some point we were going to have a struggling patch of form. You know, we had an amazing red hot start to the season. Of course, at some point we were going to slow down a little bit and begin to have the inevitable struggle, if you will, because it happens every single season. You know, every single season, you know, a team is going to have a little bit of a struggling patch of form here and there, and unfortunately right now we are in that patch of form where we are really struggling. And so for our second game today's episode, it doesn't get any easier. We're now away from home at Anfield to take on Jurgen Klopp's Liverpool, and of course the Premier League champions last season. We knew this was going to be a tough game. We fell behind very early on through Sadio Mane. We have a golden chance to get back on the returns in the 90th minute. Great work by Pele, getting a rare start in this game, rolling it through to Ivan Toney. Good stop by Alisson though, and it was still 1-0. And you would have seen by the lineup as well, loads and loads and loads of changes to the team heading into the match. But it was a great chance here for fringe players to prove they got something show they got something to prove here. McBurney would get a start. Bruno got his first Premier League start. Of course, we saw Pele got a start in this game, but sadly got an injury here in the 37th minute. We of course have had a lot more realistic injuries since I adjusted the slides at the start of the season. Thank you for all the comments at the start of the season saying I need to turn the injury sliders down. You are 100% right, and we have seen a lot more realistic injuries since then. But anyway, it was still 1-0 at the break, and in the second half, 4 minutes after the restart, we hadn't played too badly. Liverpool would double their lead and get themselves 2 goals in front through an absolutely sublime piece of skill by their number 30, Ageria. And you want to see this goal on the replay, man. He dribbles past Norwood, takes it around our captain, and this finish, I mean, that is out of the reach of Dean, loops over him and into the top corner. What a wonderful goal. Liverpool 2 goals up here at Anfield, and we're on course for our 3rd defeat in 4 games and 3 consecutive away losses as well. But right from kickoff, we would get ourselves back in the game, where I have to say Jamal Lewis getting his 2nd start in the Premier League this season. Of course, started holding mid in the game against Leicester City, now playing his preferred left wing back role, would go on a great run down left hand side. I love the way he pushed his man to the floor there in the build up, just said get out of my way, this is my ball, as he won the 50-50 challenge. Perfectly weighted across as well, and Oliver McBurney getting a start in this game, gets his 1st goal of the season as our number 9 heads it in and makes it 2-1. So back in the game, deficit half, but really despite getting that goal, there was never really any danger of Liverpool dropping points in this game. They were the far superior side. They restored their 2-goal cushion late on in the game through Grujic, and that was how the game would finish. Jurgen Klopp can celebrate the cheeky fist pump there. They thoroughly deserved the win. 17 shots and 13 on target. So once again, for the 2nd straight game, we conceded a lot of attempts on our goal. So our defense really needs to tighten up now if we can get ourselves out of this struggling patch of form. Back-to-back defeats for 3 defeats in a row even for Sheffield United for the first time this season, and also 4 defeats in our last 5 games. It's the inevitable struggle. We drop down to 7th place and things go from bad to worse. Andrew Pele has now got a broken toe and is going to be out for 2 months. So again, we are getting a more realistic range of injuries now since I adjusted the slides at the start of the season. We're getting little injuries here and there, a few week injuries and whatnot, and Pele now out for 2 months as well. Bit of a shame, but again, doesn't play too much anyway, so I think we'll be able to cope without him. But either way, just another sign of bad misfortune for the Blades, as right now we continue to struggle in a very tough patch of form. So for our 3rd and final game of today's episode, now taking on Stoke City here at Bramall Lane and needing a return to winning ways. 3 consecutive defeats and 4 losses in 5 games. That is not Europa League form. So we need to get ourselves back to form here. Taking on a side right now threatened by relegation. This was the perfect opportunity. But Stoke was setting a major upset here. They had the first chance of the game through Campbell as they went in attack mode early. But from the corner, Sam Kluka switched it into the centre. Tony heads it away, and as it drops to Ravel Morrison, he lets it run through his legs. And as he takes around Carrera, he is away. Morrison sprints down his left-hand side and continues to run. Tony signalling for it. Calvert-Lewin signalling for it. He plays it to the former, and Ivan Toney is back on the score sheet. No goals in his last 2 games for the Premier League top scorer, but that very mini goal drought is now over. Great forward run by Ravel Morrison. Perfectly weighted through ball, and Ivan Toney kisses the pitch and says, oh, thank goodness for that. I'm back on the score sheet, and the little mini slump is over. So 1-0 to the Blades. Tony with the goal, courtesy of the Morrison fabulous assist. And then the 37th minute, another great chance on the counter here. Bogle with a great through ball to Calvert-Lewin. He's got Tony with him, but he says, Ivan, I know you're going for the golden boot, but listen, I need some goals as well. Don't forget that. Dominic with a great finish as he smashes the ball across the goalkeeper's body and into the far corner. So 2-0 to Sheffield United. That was the score at the break. And as you can see with the stats, once again, we were losing the possession battle. And that's why in the first half, I wasn't playing to conserve energy and keep hold of the ball and slow the tempo down. No, we were looking for quick attacks on the counter attack and trying to get our goals that way. That's how we got our goals. And in the second half, that trend continued. Shaw rolls it through to Jamal Lewis, once again starting in the central midfield role. So I must say, I think he could play there, really. He's got the stats to play there. Some of you guys have suggested it, and he's done quite well there in his first 2 games as part of our midfield trio. But sadly, the finish was absolutely terrible. Got it horribly wrong there and blazed it way off target. They linked up again a few minutes later, though, in what was an absolutely lovely passing move as they helped us get our 3rd goal of the game through that man once again, Ivan Toney, bagging his brace and his 19th goal of the Premier League season already for the top scorer in the league, and he's now just 1 goal away from hitting the target I set for him for the entire campaign. 19 goals for Toney this year. Again, lovely passing move there. Lewis into Calvert-Lewin, rolls it to his bro, and Toney makes it 3-0 to the Blades. And in the 70th minute here, a golden chance for us to make it 4-0 and complete the rout. Shaw through to Ivan Toney, puts Carrera on the floor here as he slips to the turf. I love that. Finds a space, whips it in, and there is his brother up top, Dominic Calvert-Lewin, to make it 4-0. These two have been absolutely fantastic, dynamic duo all season long, and what a signing Calvert-Lewin's been for us this season. He bags his brace just like Toney did. 4-0 the final score. 2 goals each for our strike partner, for our strike duo, who'll share the champagne come the final whistle, and a big win there, and a much needed win as well. You know, he said to the fans, 4 defeats in our last 5 games, 3 defeats in a row. That's unacceptable. But come and support us here at home against Stoke. We'll make amends to you, and we certainly did. 4-0 the final score. Big victory. Moves up to 6th place in the table, now 30 points on the board as well. Long way to go in the season, but hopefully that big win there against Stoke will see us kickstart our campaign once again and get right back on track and pick our form up. But that will end today's episode of Career Mode, guys. So a big thank you for watching. Really hope you have enjoyed it. If you did enjoy today's episode, then please drop a like. Much love to you all, and I'll see you for the next episode very soon.